Ross Douthat asks why Vance still trumps Rubio in his latest opinion column for the New York Times. For the first year of the second Trump presidency, J.D. Vance served as the White House's designated tough guy. Rather than softening Trump's harshness, Vance was charged with being tougher than the president himself, publicly pressuring Volodymyr Zelensky, defending the Minneapolis immigration crackdown, and making a symbolic flight to Greenland. In recent months, though, Vance's role has shifted. He became the most prominent internal skeptic of Trump's decision to attack Iran and then the would-be diplomatic disentangler of the Iranian knot. He also embarked on a somewhat culturally conciliatory book tour and welcomed a new son. Douthat writes that because he thinks the Iran war has been a folly and a snare, he greatly prefers this version of the Vance vice presidency to the one subsumed into ID-driven conservative politics. By contrast, while Marco Rubio's first year as Secretary of State was extremely effective, his performance on Iran has often been a profile in evasion, letting other officials take risks while he keeps his options open. Republican Party politics, however, often does not conform to Douthat's preferences. The version of Vance he prefers is the one who seems to internal GOP enemies to be politically weakened. From swarming online attacks to stinging critiques from the Wall Street Journal and Ben Shapiro, there's a palpable sense in Vance's skeptical parts of the right that the vice president is unusually vulnerable and that a Rubio scenario for 2028 might actually be viable. The skeptics have some data on their side. Rubio has crept up on Vance in a new 2028 New Hampshire primary poll and sits not far below the vice president in betting markets. Douthat acknowledges you can make a case that being initially right about the Iran war doesn't offer much political upside to the vice president. First, even amid growing doubts about the conflict, most of the Republican base doesn't want to be told the president made a terrible mistake going to war, and a vice president can't campaign that way regardless. Since Vance can't campaign that way because he has to defend his boss, his position won't be fully satisfying to the anti-war right either, whether embodied by Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan. This dilemma could have been resolved by a Vance peace deal, letting the VP credit Trump with a supposed victory while earning his own credit for deal-making. But obviously the efforts to end the war have not succeeded yet, and the June Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran, mainly negotiated by Vance, is currently bobbing, bullet-strafed, in the Strait of Hormuz. That's the argument from Ross Douthat. Thanks for listening.